Hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in to episode 306 of Your Overseas Connection, the official podcast of the G4TE.com community. That is gaming for the elderly. And we're in a bit of deja vu. Had a little bit of a late start to the show today. What are we, 5 minutes late? Don't hold it against me. I'm old. On the show this week, we've got Mr. Richard Webster. Big
Good
Bad
evening,
Daddy
Greg.
himself, yeah. Rich,
The
how you
big
doing?
bad daddy.
Rich, do you see your glorious Battlefield Hardline beta video?
Yeah, can I just say my chopper skills are pretty fantastic. It comes from years of hard labor. While you guys were out fucking throwing drinks and going out with ladies and stuff, I was in the field. I was flying choppers. I was in the simulator 28 hours a day
Yeah.
for this. This.
Yeah, this.
Just this. So yeah, big bad daddy everywhere. Add me on Steam and Twitter because I post some things sometimes, and I'm here podcasting tonight.
Awesome. Awesome. Hey, also on the show this week, this is like a retro almost reunion. We couldn't quite pull off the full reunion. I was shot down by other members, but Mike Chin. Mike Chin, you
Yo.
said I will answer the call.
I came to the rescue. I also contacted the fourth member of the retro team, Mr. DeLacy. I sent him a message on the Facebooks and I said, "Hey, Chris, you scary motherfucker. Are you coming on the show?" And he said no. He can't. I wonder why. I was so polite in my approach, but no, he's good to know that Chris CPM, for people that don't know, this used to be the original four back in the day, and then Rich saw the light and started flying helicopters in Battlefield, and and then we got Skulldugger, didn't we? That was the next person that came on, and Chris. He's got two kids now. He's got a family. He's got. I don't think he's got hair though. I still think he's hairless.
Yes.
So doesn't have everything yet, but he's doing good. He's doing good, Greg. It was good to speak to him again, but sadly, you just got us tonight. Just got us.
Well, I mean, just you guys. I can't complain. I love you guys dearly, so I'm excited to have you on the show. So, yeah, video games. It's a
And
thing.
They're good, aren't they?
They're fun at times. They're fun at
I
times.
think they'll
them.
take off.
I
think
think
they'll
they're going
take
to do
off.
well,
Yeah.
Webster. I think they're going to do well.
Yeah.
Mike, I'm watching a video of you at the moment, and it looked like you were holding up a giant black lollipop for a moment there. I realized.
Careful what you say after the word black there. I've been known. There's been rumours, and I deny all of them.
Yeah, I heard you. You look like Barry White.
Yeah, it's true. For the listeners, I have long hair now, and I sort of can pull off the Jesus look. It's quite often that people come up to me and go, "Oh wow, is it time?" I go, "No, look, it's not the second rapture yet, but we're working on it. We're working on it." So yeah, I can pull off the Jesus look now, Greg, as you can see.
You are in Jesus mode.
Oh,
Yes.
You look like Jesus from a Monty Python film.
Yeah, that is actually probably more accurate, isn't it?
I look like Jesus in a sort of like a cheap, sort of like theatre production. You know what I mean? It's like, this guy's got long hair. Like he'll have to be Jesus because Steve hasn't got long hair.
Right, right. The bald
type
one
of thing.
can't. The bald one can't play Jesus, but the guy with the shaggy long hair and the scruffy
Yeah,
beard,
he'll do. He'll do.
absolutely. All right, where are we? What are we doing?
So, how are you, Greg? I haven't spoken to you for a while.
It's
What's cracking? What's popping?
What's cracking? What's popping is work has been busy, and in fact, I was being distracted as we were starting the podcast, seeing a work email that I'm like, I will be answering that shortly.
One of my most dreaded sounds in the world is when my phone goes bloop, because that means an email.
Yep.
And it's a work email, and I'm like, but we had a big deadline at work this week, Greg, and I smashed it. You'd be pleased now. Smashed it with flying colours. So was work stressful for you today, Greg?
Stressful, no. Productive and busy, yes. How's that for
good.
a great
That's good.
answer?
Productive's good. That's a good one.
Yeah, I like my work. The new job is working out really well, so I can't complain.
There you go.
It's allowing me to still play video games every once in a while and do the podcast, which is even better. So yeah, no complaints on my end.
So where's the original crew? Where's Mark Annex? Where's Nicole? Where's
Well,
Fraser? Where you know where they are? Where are they all? Why have you actually you dust the cobwebs off the old crew and get us there? What are their excuses, Greg? That's what I want to know. What are their excuses?
So Robin and Mark both had family matters in front of them. Nicole was actually out of town traveling. Fraser,
Is it curling related?
I'm pretty sure it's curling related. He
I'm
wouldn't
worried about
cop
that,
to
man.
it. Yeah, he wouldn't cop to it, but pretty sure it's curling related.
It's nice to know that the Veteran Gamers is rubbing off on the Overseas Connection there, Greg. We are live on Twitch.
Yes.
As I see, and there's Parsnip Nose in the chat. I haven't spoken to Parsnip Nose for a long time, and Teflon. So hello to them.
Yes, definitely hello to them. Mike, I have to say this though. I wasn't scraping the bottom of the barrel when I pulled you guys into the podcast because one, Mr. Webster has become like the video gaming guru. He is back in charge, taking ass or
He
kicking
went
ass,
away
taking
for a
names.
while, but now he's doing videos.
I know.
He's talking. I have all those skills as well.
You do.
All those 2 skills.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's good.
That's all you
It's
need.
good to have you back, Mr. Webster. You, as I said when I met you in real life, and as I
remember
said,
this.
I said you are one of my favourite people in the world. I do love you.
And I think I said, Mike, get off my ass. But then I said I also love you too.
It's true. So I'll tell you the story, Greg. When I first met Rich, right? It was Stuart organised this sort of like gaming thing where we all go up to Manchester and meet up, and I was late as I often am, as I'm sure you can vouch for me, Greg. That's sort of like a trait that I have, and I turned up and Stu was there, and there's some other people that I didn't recognise, and I was talking to people, and there was just this guy standing at the bar, didn't really say anything, didn't do anything, and I didn't even know he was part of the thing, and he just stood there, and I very slowly just sort of looked at him and went, "You're Richard Webster," right? And he just went, "Yeah, I am," and then I hugged him. That was it. I couldn't stop talking to the guy.
It was a good day. It was a really good day.
It was good. We're thinking about doing another, Mr. Webster. We're thinking about doing a meetup up there north, like an arcade thing where you pay in like a tenner or something. You can play the arcades for as much as you like, and then and have a good time. So we're thinking about doing that again in the summer.
All right, I'll keep me ear to the proverbial ground and
On the down low. Yeah, cool.
Right. Read into
in
that.
the dark web.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not going to. He won't show up. That's a polite way of saying no.
Yeah, is it whenever somebody says, "Oh, when is it?" Sunday. I'll try. He's like, "Yeah, you'll fucking try." Yeah, dickhead. But there you go.
Yeah. The key is I'll keep an eye out for that. Let me get back to you on that. Those are the keys right there to tell you.
I'll try. I'll try. Try just means I won't.
Right. Exactly.
Absolutely. Anyway, video games, Greg. We're here
Yes.
to talk about video games. I like them. I've been playing some, and
That's-
you've been playing some. I'm sure Webster's been playing some one, but like they don't care because they're PC games, so they're all stupid. But I'm sure like we can pretend to listen to him.
Well, you know what?
Actually.
Webster, we have proof he's been playing video games right now because right now we can see Webster in his moments of glory in the Hardline beta.
That's not live though, is it? He's not playing that now.
No, he's not that talented. He can't talk and play games at the same time. He has
'Cause
to
at
do
the
one or
moment-
the other.
At the moment on the stream for the listeners, he's just standing on a building. He looks like a man that's just trying to commit suicide. Really, he's just standing on the edge, just like looking down, thinking, "Is this worth it?" But I suppose we should kick things off, Greg.
No, we should. I'm going to have Rich kick it off because that was like an epic moment I just saw. He parachutes down from the top of a building,
Oh,
hits
yeah,
the
that's
ground,
happened,
and took a guy out. Like,
Oh, then he's
boom,
just
boom.
landed, and boom! Yeah, beautiful there, Webster. I've actually played Battlefield Hardline tonight.
I think we all have. So let's
I've had a
talk
touch
about
of
it.
I want to hear Webster. What's he got to say about it?
All right, well, I'll talk briefly about it, and then you guys can chime in because I've spoken for at least an hour on YouTube about it. I think, and I think I remember a few months ago when it was announced and showed or whatever, I thought, no, that's fucking stupid shit. That's GTA with Battlefield stuck on in first person, sorry, and it's just going to be shit. But I have to say, the more you play it, the more fun it gets. And the two things that I actually said was bad about it in the latest video were that it plays like a strategy game, and it plays. I'm just watching the video of just how awesome I am. It plays like a strategy game.
Don't be distracted by the shiny objects.
I said it plays like a strategy game, and it's like an expansion. And the reason why I said it plays like a strategy game is because in this Battlefield, more than any, you've got to really pay attention to the map and know what's going on. I've been able to coast along, and probably many people have, coast by, quickly glancing at the map for colours, because that's all you need to know, where the colour is. If it's a red colour or whatever, there's an enemy. Or if it's a red base, you got to take it, and that's it. But now, especially if you're playing Heist, you need to know where the bag is. You need to know where the drop zone is, because the drop zone changes after it's been taken. And you need to know how many bags are on the loose and where they are and stuff. And you can't just coast along. And in Hotwire, it's not really as important, but you need to pay attention because those flags, which used to be static bases in Conquest, now move. I also said that one of the reasons it wasn't very good is because it was like Rainbow Six trying to be Battlefield. But the more you play it, the more that actually becomes a good thing.
Okay.
I'm not completely sold. I still believe it should have been an expansion to Battlefield 4 rather than a full game, because people are going to pay 45 quid for this on PS4. And I know the developer's been working hard on it, but they could have easily have just made it an expansion for $30 and more people probably would have bought it. But yeah, that briefly there are my thoughts.
All right. Okay. Mike, I also had a smattering of play on the Battlefield Hardline. I really only got in for. It's not Heist. What's the one with the cars?
Hotwire.
Hotwire. Yeah. So I like the idea. I like the idea of this, mobile capture points that, basically it keeps the game from getting choke points and stronghold points that you always saw in capture and hold games, where it was kind of like you had to defend these two areas or these three areas, and once you locked them down, it was pretty much done. So I love the idea behind it, and I thought there was some fun gameplay to it. The one thing I didn't like, and I think this is more to do with it being a beta, and just there was no real direction. You get in and it's like, just go. And I didn't get a really good sense for gameplay for a good, 2 or 3 matches, and there was just a lot of chaos to it as well. It didn't seem like there was a lot of team play or coordination going on, but you can see this is a game that screams team play. And I'm wondering if I've heard some people talking about the differences between PC and console play, and that the PC players tend to be more team-based and team-focused. And I wonder if that's going to eventually translate to the console side, or if it's just going to stay very kind of, chaotic and anarchy, ish on the console side, and then PC players will probably enjoy a little bit more of that kind of team play aspect.
Do you know what? Can I just jump in quickly, because just to touch on this subject?
Yes.
I've seen this. I think I saw that I might have seen the same tweet as you have, or whatever, or the same thing. People have said this, but I believe that about console multiplayer, sort of as an overall, generally, and I think it's over the last few years, the lack of mic stops people communicating, because on a console that is the only real way you can communicate. At least on PC you can still bring up like a chat and post little chats between your squad or your team or everybody, and I think that's the downside of console play in the cooperative side of things. But I'm going to be honest, the PC suffers that as well nowadays, because although Battlefield has been designed to be played team-based, you do get a lot of people just running around doing nothing, and a lot of the time they're probably just fucking checking their game settings to make sure it looks as good as it can run and stuff, or making shitty YouTube videos where they don't really know how to use a shotgun, like I'm doing now. But the thing that really sets it apart, I think, is because Battlefield fans who are long-term Battlefield fans like myself have been playing Battlefield games for a number of years that have pushed players to play as a team more.
Right.
General multiplayer is you just have to work as a team, and that's general etiquette. it's kind of an unwritten rule that you're a team of people that have the same objective. Where Battlefield 2142 was the first one that introduced bonuses for working as a team, and that bonuses included such things as obeying squad orders. You got points for it. Defending kills to squad members. So if a guy's shooting your squad member and you shoot them, you get like extra points, and that sort of stuff. So it pushed people to play for it without having to be told sort of over the mic, "Come on, guys, let's do this." And I noticed that in Battlefield, it was hit and miss. There were a lot of games where people were playing together, but there were also a lot of games where people were just pissing around. And I mentioned it in the video. There was a point where we were the police, and the people were just running around with the loot just going everywhere, with like taking the loot. And there was two guys just bashing off on the fucking roof of the car park on the other side of the map, doing nothing.
They were what?
Looking at the ground,
Okay.
spinning around. There was one guy just in the back of the map. You may say sniper. No, he just had a shotgun. He was just sat there, just chilling. And then there was one guy just throwing health packs on the floor for no reason.
Yeah, I apologise for that, Rich, to be honest.
You know, I wonder if also this, again, it's maybe just a little bit of the beta. People are getting in, they want to just see, and they're looking around, and so maybe they're making their own stupid YouTube videos of, hey, look at the ground textures, look at the sky texture, or textures, well, you know, look at the skybox, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I just wonder if we're seeing
maybe
a
they're just
lot
being
of that.
pricks.
Or maybe they're just being pricks. Yes, there's also
right.
that option.
But people do
I-
play together a lot more on the PC than console, but I think it's the lack of mic and lack of actual communication. But the points, I've never played Battlefield 4 on Xbox or PlayStation. I would assume that the points for working as a team would give you more reason. Is that not really the case?
Not that I found, anyway.
Yeah.
I think, to be honest, on consoles now, party chat has killed any sort of camaraderie in chat. You know, I will only talk to people if they're in a party on a multiplayer game, and I very rarely do that because it's hard to sort of get all these people together at once. You know, you just look at your friends list and go, "Well, he's playing it. Fuck it, I'll play with him." But I don't really like him because he's a knob. Sorry, Greg. But you know, that's just what you do. No, I think I'm right though, Greg. Would you agree that the party chat sort of sport things like that?
Yeah, you know, it's funny because, you know, the consoles, when they first came out, you think about it, the headsets really kind of revolutionized console gameplay. It made online console gameplay a viable thing, and it brought an element that, quite honestly, even at that time, PC gaming didn't really have. You know, PC voice chat was pretty spotty. You know, not everybody was doing it. Yeah, you had pretty much everybody just doing keyboard chat. And so console really, you know, brought about this big change. You had voice chat happening, and so it was great. And then they brought in party chat because we got tired of listening to, you know,
everybody
all the
wanted it,
assholes.
didn't they? I remember
Oh, yeah.
like everybody was like, "Come on, party chat," and then
Right.
I
And
just
now-
remember
now
online
suddenly-
just dying, you know.
Yeah.
And as soon as it came out, everybody just went in their parties, minding their own business, and you go into like a Call of Duty game now, and I know, I mean, like 70-80% of it was how like somebody had fucked my mom, right, and that's great, but but there were some moments in that where it was fantastic. I've met
Yes.
people. I have a friend called Damo who I met playing Halo 3, and I met all his friends, and then I met through him a guy that was in a band, a real band, and toured America and came over to England while he was on tour, and we all got together in London and we had a big meet-up, and you know, and that all came from just playing a random game of Halo, and you just don't get that, and some of the best moments I've ever had in multiplayer games is being in the chat, and I think one of them was we played a few games with this enemy. I think it was World at War. We was playing Call of Duty World at War, and we had a few sort of games, and you sort of felt like they knew we was having a bit of a really good matches, and they knew that there was a bit of a rivalry, but no one was saying anything. Once you got thrown back into the lobby, everybody was sort of being quiet and polite, and then out of nowhere, the enemy. My friends Damo now, they're quite loud. They kick off pretty easily, but out of nowhere, one of the guys on the other team just went, "You're a fucking dicks," or something like that. And like, everybody just kicked off in the chat. Everyone's like, "I'm gonna get you," and then you know, just a crazy moment like that. It just never happens anymore. It just never happens.
And I think because people started going into party chats and stuff, people stopped plugging their mics in. Because
Yeah.
what was the point? And now, and like you said, you'll go into a Call of Duty game now, and there will be silence, and you very rarely even hear that 14-year-old kid screeching. You don't hear that
It's true.
anymore.
I was playing the best game in the world, Halo Wars, and I was playing it with my friend and business partner Matthew Weston, and we was playing away, and when the game ends, it chucks the chat back into the lobby, and you can hear the enemy, like quite an old trait with what Gears of War used to do. And that happened recently, where like the game had ended, and I heard them just go, "Oh man, fuck it up." I was like, "Oh my god, like who's still chatting on that thing?" Like this is bizarre, but it's just I suppose it's just part of the times. We sort of sound like old men when we talk about it like this, because you get kids that come in there and they go, I don't care. It's like, I remember back in my day that it was always better. But I mean, maybe we forget. We only remember the good things and forget the bad things about how you hear people call other people faggot, and you know how hateful some of the people came on, and how much that put off people. And maybe now because it's not there, more people are attracted to playing multiplayer games.
You know, and also just to the hate speech, if you will. You know, I think about it, and back in the day, we had so many more people talking. So, you know, the crap was still there, but it was probably overshadowed a lot by just general talking. And as party chats became more popular, you know, suddenly it seems like all you hear, the only people that do come through over the microphone when you're in a public chat or a public game is the hate. It is the crap. It is the stuff that you don't want to hear. And it's because everybody who is normal and isn't spewing that stuff is in private chat with somebody else in our private party chat.
Yeah, and it's a shame because like we all met because of like Halo. Well, we got close because of Halo and stuff, and don't know. That was before party chat. It's a shame. But even PC suffers it though, to be honest, because I'm on the mic. I don't hear people talking on Battlefield. I played Left 4 Dead the other night, didn't I? And I went on, and two guys were like, "Hey man, your voice is like buzzing," and I was like, "Why?" And they were like, "You must have always mic on. You know, you switch it to where you got to press the button." And I was like, "All right, cheers, mate." Didn't speak a word after that. Silence.
Jerk.
There was like 50 minutes of gameplay and silence. We won, by the way, easily. No one died, but I mean. It was moaning at me because my mic was crackling, and then nobody spoke the whole game.
That could have been your best friend.
Could have been.
Could have been my best friend, or my next best friend.
Yeah.
We've got
away from we've got away from the topic here. Battlefield Hardline is what we're talking about, and I've played this game, and I felt they're in the chat, in the Twitch chat, they are talking about how old they are, and I know I'm pretty young by their standards, but I still, when I started playing Battlefield Hardline, felt like an old bastard, because like I just felt like, have I lost it? Am I out of this now? Because I haven't played a multiplayer game for so long. my reflexes are just sort of off, right?
Yeah,
I mean, the Halo 5 beta, all right, that I play with you, Greg,
right,
is probably the first multiplayer game I played for yonks, and I've been playing a lot of Halo Wars, which is a different skill. So my brain just not trained for this anymore. And you're talking to somebody that you know, I played a ton of Call of Duty and Gears of War. I saw an enemy and I was like, I can't. I'm shooting everywhere but him. Like I just feel like that old, like these young guys are just looking at me going, "Oh, look at him. He's got it. Look at him. Ah,
barely." Yeah.
You know, that's. But to be honest, after a few games, I feel like I just don't give multiplayer games a chance anymore, because I thought that after one game, and I was like, I suck at this. I'm never going to get good at this. But I forced myself to sort of get over the hump. And I think what it is, it's just a case of I forget how hard multiplayer games are to get into. I think, like, you know, you play a multiplayer game for like a day and you still suck, and it gives you, it takes you, you know, maybe like a good day or two to sort of get used to it, get used to the icons, the systems, the way people you know, communicate on the game, or the paths that people take, the maps. You know, there's a lot of things going on at once, you know. And I think once I took that in, I was like, okay, I know the layout of the map a little bit better. I sort of know what's going on. I still sort of didn't really have a clue. There's something about a vault and people going in and killing each other. I don't know. I was sort of getting it. And about 2-3 matches in, sure, I was getting some kills. And then I think the last match I played, I was pretty near the top, so I was getting there. But I just think you forget how hard like a fresh multiplayer game is these days to sort of just jump back into. You've really got to stick at it, I think.
Yeah.
But I like it. You know, it didn't offend me in any way. I feel like this is a bit of a controversial Battlefield. Rich, you might be able to jump in on that. Like, are people pissed off about this one? Like you said, like it should be an expansion. Is that still sort of putting people off, or do the hardcore not really care about such things?
See, the problems I have with the game probably aren't the problems that the masses have with the game, because people have jumped on the fact that it's not a proper Battlefield game. It's not. It's
Right.
not it's not the correct setup. It's not, the US against the Iraqi army.
Well,
or
yes,
whatever.
it's not
was-
military. I mean,
That's it, yeah.
Was Bad Company a proper Battlefield game?
Yeah, I think you were against the Chinese. I think it was the Chinese
So
army.
Yeah.
you've got to be against an Asian country. Is that
no,
as long as it's Russia or Korea or China, we don't care.
No,
Yeah.
I think the reality is people look at Battlefield and they want to see military hardware. That it is a military shooter, not a cops and robbers shooter. And I think that's where people were feeling like this was just kind of a cash in to try and swipe some people's money.
To be honest, I don't feel like it's a cash in at all. I feel like it's a separate team looking at
Right.
games like Payday, going, "Hey, that's good. We've got an engine. We've got an engine that has a great first-person mechanics. We've got vehicles."
Let's speak about the engine real quick. So on consoles, I don't know if you saw this, but they're talking about the PS4 version for the Frostbite engine, I believe for the beta at least, and they haven't confirmed final specs, of course, but it was running 1080p 30, so it's not 60. And on the Xbox One version, it I believe was 900, or no, I take it all back. The PS4 version is 900p on the PS4 version, and on the Xbox One version, it's 720. And I don't recall off the top of my head if it was 30 or 60 frames per second, but either way, that's the same frame rates that Battlefield 4 launched out with on the consoles at launch. And a lot of people on the console side, at least, I know, are pretty disappointed that there hasn't been any work done on this engine to optimize it for the consoles. Because certainly they could be getting better performance out of this engine and making it run better. I find it hard to believe that over a year later we're still struggling with what they did at launch.
I don't know. I don't feel like this game's mission is to make a better engine. I think their mission is to make to
No, I
offer
don't
something
think it's-
different in the Battlefield sort of area.
While I would agree with you that certainly is not their mission isn't to make a better engine, you would think that being that DICE has been working with this engine and Visceral as part of EA and that there would have been some optimizations being made for the next iteration to make sure it ran smoothly and looked fantastic. And on the console side, that has not been completely the case. I mean, it doesn't look horrible, don't get me wrong, but it was a little surprising to hear that information. Just throw that out there.
I don't know what's going on in the background, but I mean, there's obviously a lot of processing power going into the game. The specifications are higher than what Battlefield 4 was, if that makes any difference. Now, I don't know if that's because they've made it more pretty or increased the polygon count on the models, or if there's just more CPU processing power needed, but it is a higher... It takes more to run it on a PC than it does Battlefield 4. And the consoles have stayed the same. So that might be one of the reasons, and possibly the reason why they're not optimizing it, again, is because it's probably engine to optimize, in a way. It's like similar how like
That's what I
Fallout
was
New
saying.
Vegas ran like Fallout 3. It was just modifications. It was just like a modified game.
I feel like this game's purpose is it's like, oh, make something different that we haven't seen in Battlefield, while the A team, Mr. T and all all that stuff, make a better engine and a better game and a game that works. That would be nice, DICE. We'd like that one.
This one seems a lot better than Battlefield 4 at launch, massively. There's a few little bugs I've noticed. One, I was shooting a guy on the roof in Heist, and my bullets were hitting an invisible wall. That was quite weird. But
I've
over
only
the
played.
online play-
I've always sort of slipped up here because I've only played the one mode, the
There's
top
th-
one. I
there's
just pressed
three on
A
PC.
until I got into a game. I just went, I don't care enough, and I don't want to learn anything. I'm getting to 30 now, Rich, and I think after 30 you just stop learning shit. Am I right, Greg? Is that the way the world works?
Pretty much.
Yeah. I feel
Well,
like all
I'm
I know now is all I know, and that's it.
I'm right there with you. I'm 29 going on 85.
Yeah, we're the same. We're the same age. We're born in '85. We're born in the same year as
Best year ever.
as the Back to the Future, which is the greatest
to the
film
Future.
ever made. And
Yeah.
you know, I just feel like I just wanted to get into the game quick. Have I missed out on the other modes? Like, because I just played the top one. I don't know what that one's called. Rich, remind me.
The heist, the bank job one.
Yeah, the heist, and there's a vault, and there's a thing, and I don't know what was happening. I just know that I was either the bad guys or the policemen,
Yeah.
and I kept on singing bad cops" when I was the police guys, and just sort of running around. And you had to capture briefcases or something or what? I don't know.
Yeah, the heist one, you've basically the police have to stop the robbers from robbing the vault. They're called the criminals. I've been calling them robbers for like 3 days. The criminals
Wait,
have to break into the vault.
Robbers or rubbers?
Robbers,
Okay.
rob.
Rubbers.
They can break into the vault. Now, how they break into the vault is like they can choose how. You can go in like one way or put breaching charges on the other wall on the other side. And you've got to get the cash bag and take it to the pickup point, and then wait there for the helicopter to come, and then like you score. It works very much. I've harkened it to the Halo 3 capture the flag, where if like you get killed and the flag drops, your enemy or the people who are trying to save the flag have to then stand over it for a few seconds and wait for it to sort of go back to the main base. So that's what happens with the loot.
So I think that happened because there was right. Do you have to take it to a helicopter? Is that a thing that you have to do?
Yeah, a helicopter comes. Yeah.
Get to the chopper, get out. So I went to it, and they didn't go to the chopper. I killed him. So then I wait and I respawn the thing. Is that what I was supposed to do?
Yes.
Which I did.
Mike, when you do that impersonation, for a little while it works, and then
I know.
at one
Yeah,
point,
that's the
at
thing.
one point, you sound like you're sick, like you have a cold, like it's a bad cold.
Most of my voices, I can hold them for about 10 seconds. You know, I do a French accent. I go, "As you will," and then I start to make a sentence out of it, and he goes, and then I turn into Nico. You know, I don't know. You know, just I have it for a bit, and then it's gone. But I like just wading in and out of my accents. You see, it's not a dart throw. It's a wave, Greg, and you have to just ride that wave.
Catch it while it's at its highest. All right, well let's wrap up Battlefield conversation real quick.
It's good though.
Consensus, good.
I feel like it's good. It's hard for me to get invested in a multiplayer game now. You know, I've got Titanfall, and I thought I'd get into that, but what it comes down to, Greg, is having people to play with. And lonely, I don't really have anyone to play with massively. Yeah. Because even you, Greg, even you who's got an Xbox One and probably playing this on the Xbox One, you move on quick.
Well, you know, the funny thing is, my time has been so incredibly like spotty and limited for getting game time in, especially this beginning of this year. It has been ridiculous. I have struggled, and yeah, no excuse. I mean, I want to play some Titanfall with you. I'm completely down for it. So, yeah, just when. And it's like I try and sneak it into my lunch hours, and so I look for you in my lunch hours now.
Yeah, yeah, because that's 8 p.m. for me.
Right,
your
right.
lunch. And yeah, there was a habit before where we was doing that. I think where you'd go, "Hey, Mike, I'm on lunch," right? And we'd sneak it in. But yeah, I mean, it does come to that. It comes to timing, and to be honest, like you do. You know, Greg, as much as you might like this game, you're the sort of guy that you jump from game to game. You don't like to play one game, and I feel like a lot of my mates who play Battlefield 4 constantly, they won't go to this. I don't think. I feel like they'll stay on Battlefield 4.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know, I mean, for me, I like to jump from game to game. I think also just to have opinions for the show.
Oh yeah, yeah. That
doing the video game podcasting has probably ruined my gaming life in some respects.
Especially the multiplayer stuff, because the multiplayer stuff, when you do a podcast every week, you just can't play the same game and go, I've been playing, because I play a lot of Halo Wars, but I make sure that I mix it up with something else, you know. Right. So yeah, you're all right. It does. we make a sacrifice for you, listeners. Do you understand? We do a sacrifice
Do
for you.
know the sacrifice?
Do you know what we do for you? Yeah, I feel like constantly, especially this year, I've made more of an effort to play newer games. That's why I downloaded the Battlefield beta. Really, I don't know. By the way, is this game going to have a single player? Do we know that?
Yes, and that's actually what I'm kind of most excited for with this game. Not the multiplayer, because Visceral is making this game, and I've liked their single player stuff. So I'm pretty excited to see what they do in a cops and robbers kind of
Dead
thing.
Space, Dante's Inferno. That's how it goes, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. That's a good team.
Yeah, yeah. So let's cross our fingers that it turns into something good.
I'll quickly say that if you like Rainbow Six and you like Battlefield, it's worth trying to put in at least an hour or two into this. At first, the first couple of games, you will be like, what the fuck is going on? And especially in Heist, you will not know which way's up. You will not know what the hell's going on. What's this gas in my face? Why am I choking? Why has that guy got like money on his back and like he's jumping off a building? What's that helicopter there for? Hold on, what's this blue fire on the floor? What do I have to run over it? Do I have to blow it out?
Rich, clearly you were listening to me
that
play this
blue-
game.
What is that blue fire? I saw somebody throw the blue fire. What the fuck is this guy? Am I in the future here? Like, am I in space?
What is the
I
blue
ran
fire?
through it and it didn't hurt me, so I don't know what it is. That might
I
be a
don't know
bug.
what
Maybe I
that
should have
is.
reported it.
Great.
But yeah, I did ask the Twitter sphere what people thought of Battlefield, and I will just quickly read a couple of tweets here.
Hey, Greg, he's getting pro, isn't he?
I know.
at him.
Our little Rich is all grown up.
He's the
What can I
grown
say?
up. Finally, Rich. I knew you'd grow up one day.
Kinney999, also known as John by his parents and other people, he said it's not actually that bad at all. It needs some balancing, but it's already ahead of the omni shambles that was Battlefield 4. The new game mode has surprised me. It's actually a great addition. I just hope the servers don't suck after release. He corrected
Yes.
his tweet later. I wish they'd do loads more to reward team play though, as the console falls mile behind. So he says he thinks they should maybe double the team points to make people play more, which is a good idea. Chris Williams, also known as that guy off some other podcast.
We don't talk. Kinney's in the chat, by the way. He just popped in to say the chat, but now he's got to rub his missus's feet.
Oh,
So,
All right,
you know.
okay.
noble
So he's not a
effort.
true gamer.
I'm not going to say anything, but I'll just make a noise. Whoosh.
He said he played 20 minutes and then quit. Turns out there were other humans playing. It looks shiny and smooth though. Great journalism, giving a game 20 minutes. Just saying. I will say, overall, it's okay. Give it a try. It's free. It runs out Sunday. Give it a go. See what happens. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe tomorrow early afternoon for you guys, early morning for me. We'll get some hardline in. Mike,
I've got a christening to go to.
for fuck's sake, come on, priorities,
I know.
man,
So
priorities.
It's funny because, you know, like I'm a godfather to
Just show up, throw some water on the kid, and leave.
To be honest, don't let me go into my rant about christenings because I think they're a massive waste of time. But you know, like, and my best friend Lee Marsh, whose son he's having the christening, he's not religious. His wife's not religious. They're just having a baby party, right? That's
Right.
pretty much all it is. And I think it's a massive waste of time. And he wanted to make me the godfather, and I've been a godfather to another child. He cried a lot because that's probably because he didn't know who I was. But never mind. So this child. I was meant to be the godfather, but the priest was like, he has to be, baptized when he was young and stuff. But I got away with it last time. Like the priest was like, I don't care. And I was like, take that, God. But like, yeah. So
Are you getting baptized too then?
no. And to be honest, if I could, like, I would, because I don't care. Like, to me, it's just water. Like, I don't
Right.
believe in anything. You know what I mean? I'll just go, oh, fuck it, do it. Like, I don't care. Like, it doesn't mean anything to me. I don't feel like I'm gonna burn in hell or anything. So it's just one of those things. So I can't make the battlefields. Maybe I can sneak the Xbox One in the church. Maybe that'll.
I think that would be a solid play. You should totally try that. Yeah. Where were we? Rich, you're saying Battlefield Hardline beta ends on Sunday, correct?
I believe so, yeah. I'm not sure what time.
It'll
just
probably be right
sometime
about when I'm trying to log in.
Yeah, I think it's like 9 p.m. like Zimbabwe time or some shit.
Okay. All right, 9 p.m. Zimbabwe. You heard it here first. All right, well, let's move on. Rich, anything else you played this week that you wanted to discuss? That's what we were doing, by the way. We were talking about games we had been playing.
Oh yeah, what I've been playing. I do have a quick recommendation for you. You know my Among Nipples game from the other week?
Yes, yes.
Well, there's a similar game called The Old Tree, and by similar I mean it's free. That's the only thing it has in common. It's free and it's an indie game, and people have said it's like the origin story of Headcrabs from Half-Life 2. It's not, but it's kind of interesting. It's basically It took me 12 minutes. The video's on G4TE and on my channel. 12 minutes to finish it. It's basically a point-and-click puzzle game where you take a little crab octopus thing from like birth, and then it escapes. That's spoilers, but it's free, and you've just got to click on the world. Like there's a flashy light, you click it, and then a light bulb will come on, and then the octopus can then walk past the light bulb. It's on Steam and it's free, and it's a flash game basically. So try it out.
Yeah, I've noticed you've kind of had this like fascination with sea creatures. Octopus-like creatures. Among Ripples, it was like an aquarium basically. It was an aquarium basically, an aquarium game. Wasn't that Among Ripples? Pretty much.
Yeah, it's basically like a aquarium type game. I'm just trying to I don't know the word for sexual arousal by marine animals, but I was going to try and joke that I had it, but I don't know what it was. So
I think that would still fall under bestiality.
Yeah, probably, yeah. In some courts.
Yes, there you go. Mike, save us, please. What have you been playing?
I'm back. Yeah, I've been playing Lord of the Rings: Shadow of Mordor. There, Greg.
Great game.
Very good game. Yes, yes.
It is a good game, but can I personify? I'm going to personify Shadow of Mordor. I'm going to give it a voice. This is my impression of Shadow of Mordor. Okay, I'm going to have a conversation. We're going to get weird here, Greg, on the show.
Mike, every time you're on the podcast, it gets weird.
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, so this is Shadow of Mordor. Hey, I'm Shadow of Mordor. Why don't you come over and play? Okay, Shadow of Mordor. I'll come over and play it. Let's give it a go. Okay, check out the Nemesis system. Look at the Nemesis system we have. Oh yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah. What about the story there, Shadow of Mordor? No, don't worry about that. Just the Nemesis system. Look. What about the story, Lord Shadow of Mordor? I wanted. What about characters? Oh, yeah, don't worry about it. Smeagol, we got Smeagol, the Nemesis system. Just keep playing it. It gets boring. Shadow of Mordor. I am bored. What about the towers? Come back, please come back. That's it.
That's it.
I like the game, Greg. I think it's nice. I think it's clever, and it sucks you in a way that other games don't. And to be honest, when I started playing it, I thought, you know what, this is what we need. This intelligent sort of system where the enemies like sort of rank up, and it feels like it's going on. A fucking game did it before, Greg. It was called Fallout 3, where the game world sort of just went on without you. You know, you could interrupt people's journeys. If a character was going from A to B, you might be able to catch them on the way. It was already going on in Fallout 3, so it ain't massively new. And the problem is when you play Shadow of Mordor for long enough, you start to see behind the curtain. You start to see what it's doing. It's just creating this Uruk, because it's not an orc, this Uruk, and it's giving it some armor, and it gives it a name, and then it slowly works. But it's not that impressive once you work out what's going on. It's cool, and it definitely gets you in the game, but the world there isn't rich. The environment isn't rich, and it kicks your ass at the start, and I can totally see why somebody wouldn't play it for more than an hour and get sick of it. But once you get past that, it does reward you, it does get better. But to be honest, when it was ending, Greg, I was getting bored. I was really struggling to finish this game, and it's frustrating because it's so well done. Like, you know, the presentation is top drawer. You know, the way you chop somebody's head off, and the sounds that your sword makes, and the bow and arrow, but it doesn't educate you very well. Like, the bow and arrow isn't normal bow and arrow. It's like elf power or some crap, and you have to drain Uruks to earn it. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I've seen all of the films. I have no idea what you're talking about. And it doesn't really explain this very well. And you see a loading screen. It says, if you want to do this, and then the loading screen's gone. You're like, what the hell did it say? You know, so I liked the game. It just didn't make it very easy for me to like it. And then once you played it enough, I mean, I spent 30 hours in the game, Greg. You know, you don't play a game for 30 hours and and have a bad, and you've got nothing good to say about it. I obviously enjoyed it, but people are giving it game of the year. Like, come on, it's good, but it ain't game of the year. Jesus Christ. I liked it. I enjoyed it, but I think the sequel is going to be great if they work it out. If they work out the open world aspect, the environment was boring. The Uruks were well voice acted, but they were just annoying. You see another captain, you're just like, oh God, like I haven't got time for you. And I know, that's sort of like the point. You know what I mean? Like it's an inconvenience, and sometimes you're in the middle of a mission and 3 of them show at once. And you just. Right. That is cool, but really hard to break through. And I went from being terrible at the game to instantly being fantastic. Like 3 or 4 upgrades later, I was like the Master of Mordor. That's what the game should have been. The Master of Mordor, the motherfucker of Mordor. Like no one touched me. But the problem is at the start they bombard you with enemies. You just get pounded with them, and you kill them all, and then more come, and you're like, oh my God, and you eventually die, and that person who kills you ranks up and all that nonsense. When you're strong enough to deal with them, they run off, Greg. They just go, no, come back, I can deal with you now. There's time now, Greg.
Well,
it's a good game. I enjoyed it. You've played this, Greg?
I have played just a little bit of it. I purposely didn't dive into it because I was afraid it was going to suck up all of my time, and there were other games I was trying to get off of my playlist. Among one of them being Dragon Age or Dragon Age Inquisition or Inquisition, which you say. So I have Shadow of Mordor's. I bought it on one of the sales for cheap, so I'm gonna play it eventually.
How far did we get in it? What's your sort of take on it?
Barely into it. I got killed by one captain, and then I was like, okay, I'm good for a while. I'll come back to it.
You know what though? I know you'll go back to it eventually.
Right.
Maybe, but
I
feel
will.
like you will.
This is one I want to go back to for sure.
But to be honest, your experience right there, where I play, I got killed and I suck, and that was exactly my busy mate whose son's getting christened tomorrow. That was his experience. Sunday, not tomorrow. That was his experience, Greg. He was. He played the game, he died, and he didn't get on with it. And that was my experience as well. I really struggled at the first couple of hours. I was like, oh my God, I'm really not. Because all I hear is Game of the Year. Oh my God, Nemesis system. This is amazing. It's going to blow your cock off. It remained on, listeners. But, I played it. I was like, this is it? Really? But no, it does grow on you. So that reaction that you've got there, Greg, some people just would never would go back to it.
Okay.
Yeah, and although I think it's great, I look at it as great through, I don't know, I look past the problems. I see exactly what you're talking about. The world isn't very detailed. There's not a lot you can interact with. The story, I haven't even give a gnat's cock about since the beginning. The coolest bit was when Gollum showed up, but then that wore off because I've seen Gollum's face for like 12 years. And I honestly, if someone asked me now, gun to me head, I wouldn't be able to tell you what's going on in the story. Yeah. All I know is I'm on the side.
Calibrimbor's in it, and he looks like Hugo Weaving, even though he's in the film with somebody else. I don't get what's going on.
Yeah, the only thing I know is going on is I'm popping caps. I'm taking Mordor down from the inside.
Oh yeah, that's ace.
It's fun, and the combat's fun, and like you said, the arrows don't really make sense, but the combat's fun. I like how it's trying to be like Assassin's Creed from the old days, and it's fun and it's great to look at, and it's nice. But yeah, the story, the skill system, it's okay. The Nemesis system is all right. Straight away, I know the game's just creating an Orc, giving it a name, and just slapping it on a number. That's what it's doing.
There are some great moments in Shadow of Mordor. It does reward you if you break the seal, as it were. There's nothing. I think one of the best moments, in my gaming experience for the last 6 months has been when you come up against a war chief. A war chief's like, the don of all captains for people that haven't played it, and you have to do something to provoke them to come out. and they have a name like Aura, Aura, and that tension or something. But there was one war chief that was called Douche.
Douche.
And he wasn't a war chief. He was a captain, right? And I said I want that to be like, because you press the right trigger button, the right analog stick, and it'll go into it, and the guy will go say the name like Brokov or something, and then he went into it and he went douche. I was like, I've got to make him a war chief. I have to make him a war chief. So I made him a war chief, and then he came out and he was like douche, douche, douche. I was like, yes, he's a douche. And I killed him. I got bored. What a great moment, though. That's a fantastic moment in a game. So yeah, that's one game that I've been playing. Greggles.
Yes.
I've also, since I suppose I could talk about Far Cry 4. I played that and finished that.
Okay.
It's a fine game.
I've heard that. I've heard it's a fine game.
It is a good game, and people say, it's more Far Cry 3, man, but Far Cry 3 was fucking amazing. Yeah, that's fine. But it is more Far Cry 3. Come on, you know what I mean? And it's all about the golden path. That you have to sort of find the golden path and make sure that you go on the right path for you. And I struggled with all that nonsense because you have to choose. You got like these two people that don't get on all the time. They must be married or something. Badoosh! And that you have to go with the chick or with the dude. And that was just annoying. But the bad guy, Pagan Min, voiced by that dude that's in everything, Troy Baker, did a great job. It's really cool. I like it. But it is Far Cry 3, with mountains and
it's a prettier Far Cry 3.
And a grapple. You got a grapple thing.
A grapple, yeah.
On. And the co-op, Greg. Taking an outpost out with your mate. I've recorded some great moments in Far Cry. One of them being Marsh just walking along saying, I need to go hunting, and I'm turning around the other way, and then I turn back and I just see a rhino explode. And I'm not sure why. And then Marsh just walks over to the rhino and goes, yeah, rhino skin. He put C4 on the rhino. I didn't even know about it. Just stupid moments like that. And I have this. I've talked about this on the Veteran Gamers, veterangamers.co.uk. Check it out. That's the other podcast that I want to listen to. I have a running joke with my Bezzy mate, Greg, where if I say the line, "We should be careful and not rush in," that's
you rush in, right?
Rush in. It's sort of just a running gag. Marshy knows,
all
like,
caution
okay.
to the wind and go.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. So what happened there was that Marshy, he loves sniper rifles, Marshy, right? So he's on this mountain, right, and he's taking his time and he's looking for the alarms because you got to shoot the alarms, and he's taking his time and he's like, all right, I think there's an alarm there, Jin, and there's another alarm there, and if you go around the other thing, yeah, okay, Marsh, yeah, okay, yeah, and if you just go around there and then Marsh, we should just take our time. As I said that perfectly, I went past his scope on the sniper in my wingsuit, just going died instantly, but that's fantastic. Like, I love that stuff. Like, I always love a good co-op game.
To me, Mike, that is a very much a Leroy Jenkins moment.
Oh yeah, that's what I said to him. I said, you should look up Leroy Jenkins because that's exactly what I'm doing. And he didn't know what it was, but that's. Yeah, I just absolutely love those moments. And I have got Assassin's Creed Unity, which I believe you still have in its cellophane wrapping.
So, funny story about that.
Funny story. It's going to be a good one. He's like, funny story.
So, I came across it. I found it sitting in its GameFly sleeve, perfectly still sealed from the mail when I got it, the day I got it. And I said, do you know what? I'm sending it back.
You're joking.
Oh, I just don't have any desire to play Assassin's Creed Unity right now.
It's weird now. Yeah, it's weird.
So,
I've played Assassin's Creed 4 twice, all the way through, with all the collectibles. Like, I can't get enough of that stuff.
Yeah, I just, not for me. So
it's co-op. I really want to see what the co-op's doing in Assassin's Creed. I think that could be interesting.
Maybe I'll rent it again.
What can you do? Rich, what am I going to do with this kid? You know what I mean? Like,
well, I elected to. I'm trying to get the Evolve disc before, so it should come to me the day it releases.
You say sent it back. Is this from your rental service?
Yes, yes. This is from
Okay, so you've
GameFly,
not
the
bought
rental
the
service.
game.
No, I did not buy the game. No, no.
Oh right, okay. That's not too bad then. That's not as bad.
Well,
Okay.
the only bad thing about it is I held on to this disc since I got it launch day.
Right, so you've had this. Do you have like a disc a month or 2 discs a month?
Yeah,
sort of
disc a
deal?
month, disc a month.
A
And
disc,
so,
and how much a month is it if you're gone?
like $18. I could have bought
So
this
you've
game already.
paid. So you've paid. You bought the game.
Yeah, basically, and I never played it, and I sent it back.
Oh, Greg.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, Greg.
Yep.
So yeah, you paid like $54 for this.
Yeah. One of the problems with rental services like that, subscription-based rental services, if you are buying games, they don't really make a lot of sense for you to have, because I mean, ultimately, you're going to play the games you buy
Yeah.
more than you're going to play the game you're renting.
I think, no, to be honest, no. I think that's the opposite for me.
Well, it should be the opposite. I mean, ultimately, you would think it would be the opposite, but I use GameFly specifically to get some of the newer games that I don't think I'm going to buy, and for Assassin's Creed Unity, it was just like, you know what? So much time has gone by. Any impressions I'm going to give at this point, who cares? So
For me, it's the opposite. Like, if I'm renting a game, I'm thinking like, wow, I'm paying like a tenner a month for this.
Right.
So, the games that I've bought, for example, Fallout New Vegas, I bought years ago. Years
Right.
ago. Funny enough, I do have the original Dragon Age. I have Destiny on the Xbox One. I've bought these games. I don't touch them because I'm not paying £10 a month for them. I feel like if I don't get through my rental service, then I'm pissing in the wind with my money. Really, it's blowing money away. So I have to sort of keep up with it, and it's, I suppose that's sort of the good business model they have. They feel like you've got to keep up with it and keep using it because you can't sort of waste your money. So yeah, I did the games I buy, Greg. They just get put on the back burner, which is unfortunate.
yes, I agree. I can't not argue with that.
I'm just trying to think of anything else that I've played. I keep playing Worms Battlegrounds. That was the free game.
Do you like that? I haven't really dabbled into it too much. I want to play some multi.
It's great. I
Okay.
think I think it's a great one. I'm a massive Worms fan. I've been a Worms fan since the year 2000, Greg. When I
Right.
went to the Americas. I went to
Americas.
Florida, and I remember I went with my friend and his family to Disney World, and we was obsessed with Worms Armageddon. So much so that when we went to America, we basically talked about Worms almost every day. Like it was like, oh god, I love America, and this is great. And we're in Disney World, and it's fantastic, but I can't wait to play Worms again. It's just one of those things. And I'm huge Worms. I do feel like I never really liked the 3D Worms, and when I say that, I know not the 3D Worms. This is a 2D traditional Worms game, but it's a 3D engine. And it's using 3D models, and there's 3D physics, and there's water physics. I've always liked the traditional 2D flat graphics because the boundaries are simpler and the physics are easier to judge, and the rope swinging was always better. And there's never been quite the same Worms Armageddon game for me. Worms Armageddon 2 for the Xbox Live was pretty close, but still used the 3D engine. Battlegrounds is the best sort of Worms I've played for a while. It has classes. You can play different classes of Worms. So you have a medic and you have a scout that doesn't set off mines, and a soldier where you can detonate the grenade when you want, and a heavy that's just huge and really strong. So I like the way they swapped it up there. And the water, before you used to go into water, you used to instantly die. Now you just slowly drown, which completely changes the game. So they've done a lot to it, but yeah, it's not quite the pinnacle for me. But Greg, absolutely, we should play some game. I played with iPete. I played with my friend Ben. Really good, really solid Worms game that you should get into. The campaign is long.
Yeah, I was noticing
Long.
that. Yeah, I
It
started the campaign.
You feel like, I can fly through this, get some achievements or whatever, and it's got some funny dialogue and so on. It takes ages. Like each level just takes so long to do, and it's a good game that you can keep checking your phone in between. While the enemy's having a go, But yeah, it does take a while. It's quite an investment. I'm near the end of it, but it's a good game, Greg. Definitely recommend having a pop on it. We should get some multiplayer going.
You know me, I'm always up for that.
I've heard that.
Just if I can find the time.
I've played a bit of iDarb.
Yeah, so I'm curious about this. What did you think? I'm my gut feeling is I'm going to hate it.
Yeah, I don't know your response really with this because, but for anybody that's played Rayman Legends, it's pretty much the football game in Rayman Legends. So you start off, it's 2D grid like square thing, and there's a ball that gets dropped in the middle, and you have to get the ball in the goal, and the goal's sort of in midair, and that's pretty much it. But the cuteness of it is that you play as different characters, and it's all pixel art, and it's very funny, and there's a lot of sort of references to movies, there's a lot of quotes from movies and that pop up, and it's funny. You have a good time playing. It's very simple, very jump in and just play it. But the cool thing about it is the hashtag bombs. I don't know if you know about this, Greg or Rich, but this is where you can stream your game, you can broadcast your game, and you can each match has a custom hashtag that people can hashtag and bomb like certain things. So you can spawn in different things. You can put big head mode. So if I was playing a game, you could see it on Twitch. You could go hashtag big head mode and go, and then everybody got big heads. Or I think it's like a turnaround thing or like reverse thing where it reverses all the controls. So you can basically just troll the people playing the game, which is just what a great touch that is. I haven't really experienced it, but that just sounds like a ball when you get it going right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hashtag thing especially. I mean, that just
sounds cool.
It is cool. It is cool.
It's a neat little twist.
The problem is getting the people, because you have to play. It's really weird. You play in teams, but you can't. For example, if we wanted to be a team, us three, I don't think you can do it. You all have to be on the same Xbox.
Yeah, so my understanding is it's up to 8-player, but that's 8-player local. And then
That's
right. In Versus, it's 1v1 right now, but it's like four players aside, and you can have 4 players on a team, but the team has to be local again.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. So that's a drawback there, but
yeah,
I'm really looking forward to getting my niece and nephew round and having a go on it. Because I feel like we'll have a right good old laugh playing the game. Yeah, that's my main gripe with it. Really, it's really funny and well presented and stuff. But it's just getting the people together. That ain't the way I play games anymore. You know what I mean? I don't play with people in the same room as me. That's just it. One more funny thing to add, then I'll shut up because I feel like I've been talking for ages. But I played a couple of matches. The first match I played, I think you can make your own custom pixel person, or maybe they chose this from a library. I doubt it. But they made a cock.
Okay.
I was playing a cock. I was playing this little pixel cock.
Are you sure it's a pixel cock and it's not
Awesome.
An exclamation mark with a dark circle at top?
This was a cock. And I lost. And what the funny thing is, you can sort of jump up and down in the loading screen with your character if you press A. And sure enough, this cock was jumping up and down. So
I definitely need to check that out.
Good game, but I don't know if I'm going to play it.
Right. It might be. It sounds like it would be a perfect party game, having beers, that kind of thing. All right. Well, I suppose we can talk about what I've been playing. I finally took Dragon Age Inquisition out of the hinterlands and ventured forth into a swampy marsh area that pretty much instantly got me killed by some zombies.
People say oh, you've got to get out of that main area, right?
Yes.
Is that okay?
Yeah, and that's the area. I mean, I've been playing little snippets. I mean, literally 15, 20 minutes, barely enough time to really get into it and get the flow going, and then I have been having to stop. So I finally I went to the War Council room, and I got a mission came up and said, do you want to leave and go to this immediately? And I was like, you know what? I might as well. I have yet to leave the hinterlands. I've got to get out of there. Let's
get
go.
out of here, man.
let's go. And I go to this place, and it's raining all the time. It's miserable looking, and
Was you in England, Greg?
I think so, because ironically, the people I can't. No, I'm not. I was gonna make a bad teeth joke, but I won't do it. But I came across corpses and zombies, and apparently
Were you in England, Greg?
apparently they're hard, or at least for the level of my characters, it didn't go well for me. It's poison apparently is a bad thing. Go figure. But yeah, no. Dragon Age Inquisition, still very much enjoying it. And a little more of the golf club. In fact, I went on a golf club
I want to
binge.
talk to you about. I want to talk to you about the golf club.
Yes, let's talk about the
Right.
golf club.
Should I get it?
Yes, I fucking love this game.
Because I was told that this ain't a great game.
It is one of the best golf simulation games I have come across ever.
Okay, so sell it to me, Greg. I am. Let's take this seriously now.
Okay.
You have the potential to make me buy this game. By the way, Richard Webster's just fucked off. Right. So I
Right.
don't know if he's just done this in a rage or if he's. Oh, he can hear us. I was trying to be clever. Or he was just. No,
Right.
I think he just needs a wee. But Greg, you have the potential here to sell me this game. What you say next depend. Look, I could part with my real life money tonight and buy this game. Go.
So what I'm about to tell you is
No.
potentially not going to sell you on this game.
Okay.
The reason why I like the golf club so much, it's the swing mechanics, and the physics of the ball and the environment. They all come into play, and we've seen this before in other golf games. But in almost all other golf games, you usually have some kind of power meter that you're going up against, and you're hitting A to start it, and then you're hitting A again to get a powerful shot. And if you get it right within this band,
the three click system,
right,
isn't it? There's
the
like
three click
A,
system,
A,
yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
That completely non-existent.
Okay.
It is
so
all-
it's all like the analog stick.
It's all on the analog stick.
Well,
So-
Tiger Woods thing. I always played Tiger Woods like that.
Well, so I haven't played Tiger Woods game of recent, so I couldn't tell you that.
I think the last one I played was maybe 11, maybe 10 or 11.
But there's no visual cues on screen in terms of the power of your shot, in terms of putting even. You have to gauge your power by,
Oh,
in a
my-
sense, look and feel, not based on some meter telling you this is how hard you should be hitting it.
My real life golf and my virtual golf have two things, are a thing in common,
Right.
Greg. Putting fucks up everything. Like I do for the listeners. Me and Greg actually play golf in real life,
Yes.
and I think Greg's average is better than mine, but his handicap's better than mine. But I think it's safe to say we're sort of both okay,
We're-
average.
Yeah, I think we're in and around the same level of skill, which is not to
Which-
say very
It ain't
good.
great. It ain't great.
Right.
And I do promise one day to go to California and show Greg my splice going to the trees. But I sometimes I do a great drive, and I do I use the irons well because I'm not great with the irons, but it goes well. It lands on the dance floor, Greg. It
Right.
goes on that green. And then, bam! Like three shots on the put-in, and I'm like, "Oh my god!"
Well, what they say, you hit for show and you putt for dough.
That's it. Yeah,
Yep,
and
yep.
it really messes my game up, and I feel like I just need
So
like a week of just putting just to get my eye in.
the best part about the golf club is it replicates that. and maybe you're going to look at that in a negative thing, but
Yeah.
to me, it's really refreshing, and it's great to be using the analog stick for everything in terms of your hitting. You can cycle through your clubs, you can change your shot types, you can change a little bit in terms of your power outage on hitting the ball, so you can try and overswing, if you will. But what you will see, and it's about the only guide that really will tell you in terms of a power reference, the more power you try and put into a shot, or the more overswing you put into it, so to speak,
Yeah.
the more narrow there's like on your mini map, there is a trajectory of how you've struck the ball and whether it's going to go straight, whether it's going to slice, or whether it's going to hook.
Yeah.
And if you hook your shot using the analog stick, of course you're going to get a bad slice or a bad hook. If you
Yeah.
flip it back up at an angle. Now, as you increase power, there is like this red little band that you see on the mini map that basically is kind of like the forgiveness area. So as long as you don't go too crazy left or right as you're flicking the stick back up, your ball's still going to go pretty much straight, right? So it's not going to be some crazy hook or crazy slice.
So it forgives you a little bit on.
Forgives you a
it gives
little bit, right.
A little bit of wiggle room.
A little bit of wiggle room. Then as you try to overswing, and depending on the club as well, that band narrows down and becomes smaller and smaller. And so any slight little shot, you're going to have very bad results. So it's like you're overswinging. You're swinging from your hips, and you're trying to knock it out of the park. And as you know, in golf, usually when you try and do that, you end up hitting a very bad shot. And the golf club emulates that to a T. So there's not,
I like it, Greg. To a T.
Yeah, see?
I get it.
You like that? You like that?
Because this is not a cheap game, Greg.
No, it's not a cheap game.
It's £27. It's $30.
Right.
And £27.
It has
in the UK.
a ton of courses. I mean, a ton. And
there's
all
a
of
lot of people playing it, right?
Yes.
There's a lot of people in the community playing it.
We've got community challenges going on right now. There are user-created courses that are not just user-created off of the Xbox, but they're the PC, the PS4 courses make their way into the game. And what's great is if you play courses that your friends have played, you can play asynchronously with them. So you'll see their shots on the screen firing off as you're playing through the course with them. And it's great for tournament play. I love it. I honestly feel it is really one of the best golf games we have seen come to the consoles.
Tell me then, Greg, who's playing well in the community? Who are ones to watch?
Well, sadly, I hate to say, Gary DeFelice seems to be one of the better golfers. He has one of the better scores in our current challenge.
I thought he was meant to be lousy at gaming, though, Greg.
He's lousy at a lot of things. Golf, apparently not one of them, at least on the console.
It's all a ruse.
Yeah. Well, I think he's playing on PC, so maybe he's found some kind of cheater hack. I don't know. I wouldn't put it past Gary to do something like that.
Greg?
Yeah.
Greg, do you want to hear my verdict?
Buy it.
I'm gonna buy it.
That's my man. That's what I like to see.
My phone. I am going to buy it.
Do it, Mike. Do it, and we have a. I'll get you the. We'll talk about, in fact, our challenge in a little bit, and you can jump into the tournament and start playing against other people in the community and see how well you're doing.
Look, Greg, got to cover up my bank thing, but there's the confirm screen.
Shoot, just let me see your bank account, and while you're at it, your social security number.
You can only see the last 4 numbers anyway. You can't.
Right.
You can do that. But there's the confirm. Yeah.
All right. Yep.
I want you to confirm that I'm clicking confirm. Confirm on there.
Purchase.
Bam. Confirm.
Declined. Card declined.
It's loaded. Oh, what's
Done.
happened?
Done.
You purchased the golf club
Congratulations.
for the PlayStation 4.
Which you could. We have people over there playing on the PlayStation 4. So it's been great, actually, to have everybody, PC, PS4, Xbox One, everybody's kind of playing the same course. We're playing against one another. It's been a
So
lot
how
of fun.
do I get into the tournament now, Greg? How am I getting in?
I will explain that a little later on, but there is basically a podcast next gen tournament 2. I'll get you there. Don't worry. We'll talk about it shortly.
Get me in the club there, Greg.
All right. We've gone way too long here talking
That's what
about
happens
games.
when you get top talent on the podcast, such as Richard
Right.
Webster and Mike
We
Chin.
ramble. Well, let's talk about news quizzes because this is the time.
I haven't done one of
News
these.
quiz time.
Okay.
There's 4 questions on the news quiz.
Let me just get the Google up. Hang on one
Yes.
sec.
Each question is worth 5,000 points. 5,000. Yes, because I
Jesus.
chose yes.
It's like Call
Exactly.
of Duty Modern Warfare 2, just throwing XP at us.
Exactly.
No reason.
It's a double XP quiz. Rich, you are going to go first. Guest Mike Chin or former host Mike Chin, you will go second.
Okay.
Rich, are you ready?
I was born. My middle name is I'm not ready, but I was born ready.
Richard, I am not ready. Webster, perfect.
Yeah,
You had
Rich,
very strange parents there, Rich.
they were beatniks. What can I say?
Rich, this week Sony announced that they had sold its MMO online studio, SOE, to what company? Is it
I read the news, and I didn't even bother reading the rest of the title. I just read Sony sold
Right.
MMO.
This
That
is
was-
what I love to see from my crew,
Okay.
yes. Rich, is it A, Columbus Nova, B, Columbia Novant, C, Columbo Novation?
The first one.
Rich, you are right! Good job. Yes.
Well done, Rich.
Today, we are pleased to announce that we have been acquired by Columbus Nova, an investment management firm well known for its success and with its existing portfolio of technology, media, and entertainment-focused companies. This means that effective immediately, SOE will operate as an independent game development studio where we will continue to focus on creating exceptional online games for players around the world. And now, as a multi-platform gaming company, yes, that means PlayStation, Xbox, mobile, and more. As part of the transition, SOE will now become Daybreak Games game company. And they have retained all of the IP. That was the other interesting part about this. So PlanetSide 2, DC Universe Online, H1Z1. These are all games these guys were making.
All the hits.
All the hits. Yes, they're all now going to be a multi-platform portfolio.
I mean, in seriousness,
games.
though, are you bothered about any of those games?
Well, I know PlanetSide has been,
Oh, that's a thing, isn't it?
It
I'm
has
sure
been a
that makes
thing.
the most of their money, to be honest.
yeah. And also EverQuest 2. That's in
Oh, yeah,
development.
EverQuest, yeah.
That's
Again,
a big
like,
one.
I know it's very sort of personal, really, but like I couldn't give a shit about any of those.
Elks and Orbs and
Well, H1Z1, I suppose, is
I'm
a
a-
thing. But isn't that just a poor man's Daisy?
I don't know if it's a poor man's Daisy or a better man's Daisy. I'm excited about
Isn't
it.
that what the poor men say, though, Greg?
I don't know. The one thing I wasn't excited about was the money model that they put into play, which was you could buy these airdrops, which I honestly didn't care about. If you want to buy weapons and food and stuff inside of a game and pay for
You
it
wanna
instead of
buy-
finding it,
Yeah,
I don't care.
Buy the weapons.
But what I didn't like is the fact that they said that you pay for these items and they get airdropped in, but it's anybody can pick it up. You're
a
not
bit crazy.
you're not guaranteed to get it. And to me, that's like, why would I spend money on something I'm not guaranteed to get?
Tell you what, though, that feeling that somebody else has bought a crate and you steal it, that must be a good feeling.
Oh hell yeah!
You know what I mean? That must be like the best feeling ever.
I just robbed you. Yep. All right, Rich. Well done. Mike, are you ready?
Yes, I am ready. Greggles.
All right, Mike, it has been revealed that Crystal Dynamics is not making the 360 version of Rise of the Tomb Raider. Which company is handling the 360 port? Is it A, Raven Studios, B, Saber Interactive, or C, Nixus Software?
I believe it is Nixus Software, Greg.
Mike, you are right.
That
Good
was
job,
a guess.
Mike.
That was a massive guess. I just
Well
sounded,
done.
See what I did there? This is what I do in my day-to-day life, Greg. I just pretended like I know what I was doing, and everything worked out.
Hey, that's pretty much how we all get through life, right?
Yes, pretty
Um,
much it.
Head of product development Daryl Gallagher recently came out and revealed that Rise of the Tomb Raider on the Xbox 360 will not be developed by Crystal Dynamics. Instead, Nixus Software will handle development of the sequel for its last-gen platform. I like this.
But it's slightly crazy little older brother like,
Yeah.
that can't handle the game at all.
But I do like seeing this kind of development tactic for these older older game or older platforms that they want to release these games out to. They're going to have to do some cutbacks. They're going to have to do some shortcuts. It's not going to be as good, but don't take the development time from the main studio to do this stuff.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I suppose you could take that point of view. That it's
I mean,
harmless. It's harmless, right? Like it's not affecting, but it's got to affect the main developer somehow.
see, I mean, I would say no. I mean, I look at Forza Horizon 2. That game came out, is fantastic. It doesn't feel like they did any shortcuts or skimped on anything. So
I don't know. I just felt like at this point now, like I mean, the game's coming out at the end of the year. Just cut the cord, Microsoft. You know.
just cut the cord.
Yeah, 360 is done, isn't it? Yeah,
10 years it's been out nearly. Next year.
Yeah, and I think
years.
they've done a great job with the Xbox 360. I think it's a fantastic console for all its flaws. The fact that it just, pissed itself the first 3 years, but I think that, it's a fantastic console. They've supported it really well, and they've continued to support it for about a good year now. I really don't want them wasting money on ports. Like I'd rather just give that studio something. Look at a smaller game or something. Just knock something out for the Xbox exclusive. I feel like they could be doing something better. That team that's porting that game, I feel like they could be doing something better.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
I for one, I don't mind them still bringing software to the last gen. They said they were going to support it. They're at least sticking to their word. Whether it be first party or third party.
Yeah, games like Dying Light, which came out this week or last week, whatever. They cut the cord with that. They said that it just wasn't working out, and who knows what that game would have been if they hadn't have done that.
Yeah, well, I guess let me put it this way: if you are consciously going to put out a last gen version, then give it to a different studio. That's what I want to see from a development standpoint, because to me that at least is giving the possibility of the next gen or the current gen versions, I guess is really how we should put this. It feels to me like they're going to get the biggest opportunity to be the game they should be. It's when you have one
it must
studio.
slow down development time because they keep ringing them and going, "How the fuck do you get this to work, Crystal Dynamics? I can't." She looks like Lara Croft from Tomb Raider 1.
No, see, they have a hotline. They call up, and then Crystal Dynamics just on auto record.
Phil Spencer answers the call and
It
goes,
answers
"I don't know, just make it work or I'll kill you all."
Dear developer, deal with it.
Yeah, deal with it. Hashtag deal with it.
Yes.
Deal with it.
All right. Hey, here's some excitingness. It is tied 5,000 points apiece.
Oh man,
You guys are killing it. You are killing it.
When you get the pros on, Greg, this is the sort of show you get.
I'm duly impressed. All these questions in 5,000 points apiece. It is insane. All right, Rich, you are up next. Sony.
Is it a Raspberry Pi question? Because for the people on the webcam, I have one.
Yes, he does have Raspberry Pi.
2.
It looks like you just pulled it out of a Terminator. You can still see the circuit board.
Yes.
It's a T1000 circuit board.
Have you seen this boy?
All right, Rich, are you ready?
Yes.
This is important, Rich. I mean, you only have the slimmest of margins right here. You cannot make an error. You have to get this right. Otherwise, the door is wide open for Mike to take the quiz.
I'm a Battlefield player. I'm used to, human error is not a course of action we're allowed to take. It's win or don't turn up.
Okay. Rich, Sony Q3 fiscal results came in and showed positive signs across all divisions, except Sony Pictures, who had been impacted by the hack incident. With that in mind, how many PS4s were sold worldwide for Q3 2014? Rich, is it A, 6.4 million? Is it 2, 6.7 million? Or is it C, 7.1 million?
Is that a Game Punchers reference you're doing there?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Process of elimination, it's not 7. I think it's 6.4.
Do you think or do you know? And is that your final answer?
Hold on, let me just phone a friend.
Rich, it'd be really good if you rang me.
No, I can't. It's
a joke. The moment's gone now.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 6.4.
Rich, you are right! Yes, PlayStation 4 has sold 6.4 million consoles and 1.1 million PS3s on top of a 1.4 million portable consoles during the quarter. Portable consoles apparently is their new term for the PS Vita. Software sales reached 147 billion yen, while network sales were 100 billion yen. So fantastic
What's that in
numbers.
smackaroons?
It's a lot. That's the technical term. It's a lot of smackaroons. And also
I wish there was a currency called smackaroons. Like, hey, you got 50 smackaroons on you?
there probably is. It's probably Ugandan money, as a matter of fact. Smackaroons.
Excuse me, you have 5,000 smackaroons stuck on your bank account.
Rich.
I'm wasting, Greg, on these
Rich.
voices.
Yeah, well
Yes.
done, Rich. Mike,
Thanks.
pressure now completely off the charts on you.
I don't feel pressure.
Rich
I don't
has
get
just
nervous.
taken a 10,000 to 5,000. You know, he's in the lead by 5,000 points.
It is a steep lead.
If only you had one question that could get you even at 5,000 points. It's like a daily
Yeah.
double or something. Mike, here we go. Mike, Dragon Age Inquisition won Game of the Year 2014 at the 18th Annual DICE Awards.
Okay. I watched.
How many different awards categories was Dragon Age nominated for,
fuck's sake.
Mike?
What? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Was it
Yeah.
A5,
Mm-hmm.
B8,
Mm-hmm.
or C2?
2.
Mike, I'm sorry to say,
Ah.
you got it right! Good job! Yes, and I'm sorry to say we have
surprised.
to go to a tiebreaker. Yes, the Academy.
10,000 points each.
The Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences has declared BioWare's Dragon Age Inquisition Game of the Year, which was, quite honestly, unexpected because Monolith's Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor won 8 out of 9 awards it was nominated for, and in
Not one of them
contrast,
story.
Dragon Age Inquisition was only nominated for 2 categories.
Hey, it's
Other
only got to win the game of the year once.
Other notable winners were Destiny, which nabbed 4 awards, and Hearthstone took 2. So congratulations to all those games. But more importantly, we have gone into a tiebreaker scenario.
Doesn't happen often.
Yeah, it does not
Normally
happen
I've already won
often.
by now.
Yeah, you're dealing with me now, Rich. You know,
Yes.
not those amateurs on the other show.
Hold on, let me just pull up my trousers. We need to. This is real business now.
Okay.
This is real business.
If there is an A team and a B team, this is the gold team. This is like the platinum of the teams.
Yes. All right. So here's how.
Greg. Yeah, whatever. Shut up.
Yeah. Shut up. Here we go.
Shut up, you idiot.
Here's how this is going to go down.
Greg's making this up on the spot, I can tell.
No. I've got my questions lined up, but I'm gonna do something different here. So we have trivia from our
Cock
good
size.
friend.
Cock size. It comes down to cock size.
I'm sorry, Mike, you lose.
I know, it's on my head. You can see it already.
Yes, we saw you bouncing up and down. We have trivia from Mr. Jason Johnson, and I'm going to use his name the game based on the back of the box description as
I
the
like these.
first
I like these.
as the first piece of trivia. Now,
Halo.
no,
Hello too.
no.
Halo Wars.
No. Mike, you are the visitor. Odd or even?
Even.
Even. Mike, you lost. That is a 1.
Okay.
So, Rich, you can take the question first, or you can give it to Mike first.
Because I'm the gentleman of the podcast, I don't give, I take.
Rich, you're
Nah, honestly, I'm gonna give it to Mike. I'll let
going to
Mike
give it
go
to
first.
Mike. All right,
Yeah.
Mike. Name the game based on the back of the box description.
Okay.
Here we go. In a city where information is monitored, messengers called runners are the only way to communicate freely. You are Faith, a skilled runner who's uncovered corruption at the city's core, and now you're being hunted. Mike, what is this game?
Easiest question in the world.
It's so easy. Mirror's Edge. The game is Mirror's Edge.
Congratulations, Mike! You just won the news quiz. Rich,
I could have got that in the first 3 words.
I
You're
know.
a runner in a stupid city where nothing happens and there's no citizens. Got it.
Rich, man, you had it right in your hands, and you were gonna take it, and then you gave it, and in the process of giving it, you took it. I'm sorry.
You know what? I'm all about pleasing other people. It's fine. So yeah,
That's what happens.
Mike.
Rich is early. I'm the best quiz thing. I come on. Boom!
All right, well, Rich,
Sorry, mate. Done.
you get a chance to redeem yourself. How's that?
Okay.
We do have more.
Can I just say, every time I've lost the quiz, I've won the trivia. Just throwing that out there. And by every time I've lost and won the trivia, I mean that happened once.
Rich, we have some multiple choice trivia questions to go along with the tiebreaker we just had. So let's run through them. You'll take the first one. If you don't get it, it'll bounce to Mike. Mike, you'll get the second one. If you don't get it, it bounces to Rich, and so forth. There's 3 additional questions. Rich, here we go. In the 2013 reboot of Tomb Raider, how many hidden tombs are available for Lara Croft to explore? Or, excuse me, Lara Croft to explore. Is it A, 7, B, 5, C, 8, or D, 6?
I'm gonna go with 7. Lucky
Rich.
number 11.
Rich, you are correct. Good job. 7 is the correct answer. Mike, are you ready?
I am ready.
Mike, what is the name of the protagonist in Beyond Good and Evil? Is it A, Sarah, B, Jade, C, Cameo, or D, Jane?
I think it's a J. This is gut instinct. I think it's Jade.
Mike, you are also correct. Good job.
Wow, that was
This is how we roll.
There was a bit of gut instinct there. I knew it was a J. I just sort of saw the
Yep,
J,
yep.
and then the D as well. That came to mind.
Now, this final question, maybe this should have
The
been
D,
the
the
tiebreaker.
D often comes to mind there, Rich.
Rich,
Oh snap!
Rich, are you
Hashtag.
ready?
It's very sexual, this episode, isn't it?
I'm just walking right past you. Rich,
Feel the love.
Samus Aran from the Metroid series was orphaned as a child and raised by which alien race? This should have been the
Wolf.
final trivial question. Is it A, the Metroids, B, the Zora, C, the Xenomorphs, or D, the Chozo?
I've only played about the first roll of Metroid Prime.
And really, who the fuck cares about this?
Do you know what? I don't know why. The see, the Xenomorphs is what they call the aliens in Alien. I don't think they'd rob the name. The Chozo that's just made up. That's just bullshit. What's the first two? It's not the Metroid.
The Metroids,
The Chozo. Well, the Chozo.
the Metroids, or the Zora?
I'm gonna say the Zora.
Rich, you're wrong!
Ah,
Mike, you now are faced with 3 choices.
Oh,
Is it
no.
A, the Metroids, C, the Xenomorphs, or D, the Chozo?
I'm going to go for Chozo, just for pure comedy value.
oh, it's gonna be the Chozo, isn't it?
Mike, you are right!
Right. Oh, no!
Good job! It is the Chozo, yes.
Oh, it
I
was
chose
made
all
up.
the aliens in this game. Chozo, I don't know. I don't have time.
Someone just sneezed and was like, "That's a great idea."
Yes.
Chozo.
Does anybody have any suggestions with a Chozo? Good.
That's good. We can use that. We can use
End
it.
of meeting.
And speaking of end of things, that is it for the news quiz. We are done. Well done. And thank you, Jason Johnson, for the trivia as always.
I would just
We
like to
love
say,
it.
I would like to just add in a flawless victory to that.
Flawless victory.
Was.
Well done.
You get
Well done.
one question wrong. And I didn't even
was-
touch the keyboard.
No, you did
Thank
not.
you, voice Google.
All right, Rich, we are running long in the tooth, but let's get in real fast from the desktop. Take us there. Let's talk.
Okay, quickly from the desktop this week, I just want to quickly touch on Steam. Square Enix is having a huge sale on all their titles: Final Fantasy, Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, Hitman, Lara Croft shit, other shit. Yosumin is on there for $199, so get on there. And And if you pre-order GTA 5, you get $1 million credits in game.
So hang on, what Lara Croft games are we talking about? Are we talking about the classics, or are we talking about the new
All of them.
one?
Everything.
All of them.
Everything's
Shit.
on. So you can buy Tomb Raider 1,
get one.
2, and 3 for 99p each.
You are joking.
No.
I am going to buy them right now. I am on the verge of buying 4 games during this episode. I might buy them because
You can
I adore Tomb Raider.
Yeah, she's great. You can buy Lara Croft Guardian of Light for $159. Tomb Raider 1,
Wow.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6
No, okay,
for
no,
99p each.
okay. After 3, we can stop right there.
Legends 99p. Underworld's 139, and Anniversary is 139. And the newer one, what's the newer one called?
Tomb
Tomb
Raider.
Raider and the such and such. Fill in the blanks. Tomb Raider.
Tomb
Temple of
Raider.
Osiris.
Oh, yeah, the twin
okay.
stick shooter one.
Yes,
Yeah, Temple of Osiris
Temple
is
of Osiris,
£5.9. That's a new game. Only come out about 4 or 5 weeks
So
ago.
what about?
Okay.
Sorry, did you really? Yeah, is Tomb Raider Legends on there and Anniversary and stuff, or?
Legends is 99p. Underworld is 139,
Yes.
and Anniversary's on there as well for £1.39.
Legends is a great Tomb Raider game. It doesn't
I
get
like
enough.
Legends.
Legends was great.
It was. So that's the Steam news, basically. Quickly, Gabe Newell email news. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, the Gabe Newell email, as in he's customer support and he's a nice guy.
Yeah, some guy emailed support, waited a week, didn't get a reply. Emailed Gabe Newell and said, Gabe, I've got a problem. Apparently we can email you. Is that okay? And he said, hey man, everyone at Valve is support. Sorted him out in a day and then said thanks. And then Gabe was like, it's fine, I answer emails when I'm in coffee shops. I'm currently on a queue in a highway. So police are currently knocking on his door for texting while driving. Sorry, Gabe, but, you know, days are numbered.
I'm one of these people that I listen to commentaries a lot. I listen to commentaries on DVDs and stuff. I am that weirdo. And in the commentary for Half-Life 2, or I think it's Half-Life 2 or Left 4 Dead, one of them, he just reads out his email. He just says like, hey, if you got any questions about this commentary, or you got anything you want to know, just send me an email. You know, I do. And he says I try my best to answer them all, but I do read them all. And I was just like, wow, like what a dude. You know, there's a reason why all hail Gabe, all hail Gabe, buy Tomb Raider on Steam, give him my money. There's
That's
a
our
reason why he's
subliminal
there.
messaging.
I know.
But yeah, he's a billionaire and he does these sorts of things.
Yeah,
Um,
no, no,
okay.
he knows where the value in his company is, and the value is treating the people that give him money right. That's where the value is, and providing a service that works. And he's nailed it. He's obviously got the right people working for him.
No, I don't
So-
know about that. They didn't answer the customer support emails.
Yeah, well, yeah, but like they've got the right mentality, and you don't know why they didn't answer.
No, I
and
know,
you
I
don't know that they probably would have answered it eventually.
He was probably being a dickhead, and they were just like, "Fuck this guy." And then Gabe's
Yeah.
like, "I'll be nice to you." But I will say this.
Oh.
I will say this.
No Steam play on the Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3.
Oh.
Fuck you, Gabe. I'm only joking. I'm only joking.
I think Gabe kind of set the standard in terms of interaction with the gamers of their service, and then we saw Yoshido, not Yoshido Wada. I was going to say, what's the guy from Sony?
Yoshio Kamisawa.
No, PlayStation, head of PlayStation right now. I'm drawing a Shuhei Yoshida. He was very, very open and very responsive to fans, especially early on in the PlayStation 4. And now we've seen Phil Spencer taking very much the same kind of tactic, and it's kind of funny to watch this stuff evolve. It's now that the in thing is having the executives being responsive to the gamers, and I love it. I love that
Phil
transparency.
Spencer, I wear a blazer and a t-shirt under the blazer. I'm just like you. It seems like Microsoft just went, who's a nice guy? Hey, Phil, is that Phil around? He was a nice guy. He bought me a Mars bar once. Let's get him
People
in.
like him.
Let's promote that motherfucker.
But yeah,
So, I think they've all the CEOs across the world have just gone to the same conference because I went to a conference with work today, and I'm not messing. The CEO,
Look at that guy.
nice.
Look at that
can-
guy.
Yep.
we can ask him a question on a postcard.
Let's
I-
ask him a question.
I like that you can ask him on a postcard, as in it won't get to him for weeks.
Last year we emailed him, but obviously too many
Right.
people must have emailed him. So
Right.
that's a postcard that we'll never get to.
If you want to know what that person looks like, that Richie's pointing a photo to, I'll just say these words to you: business accountant, and that's
Yeah.
pretty much whatever you've got in your head. That's him. That's what it looks like.
Completely.
Yeah.
All right. Continue on, Mr. Webster.
Okay. The NVIDIA GTX 970 has come under a bit of scandal these last couple of weeks. I've not touched on it
You know
before.
what? Do not get me started on that particular graphics card because I know a lot about it.
See, I know I'm touching on a nerve for you there, Mike. I'll
really-
tread
it's
carefully.
really sensitive. It's
I was
really
moments away from picking this graphics card up, and then
Yeah. I read it in the paper, to be honest. I read this news in the paper.
in the Guardian, no less.
Yes.
Or the Metro. Basically, GTX 970 is a 4 GB card that has the same ROPS, flops, and all that as the GTX 980.
I'm
Basically.
sort of still with you. I'm hanging by a thread, but I'm very okay.
specs
I'm
are
following.
similar. Okay.
Specs are
Okay.
similar to another graphics card. Got it.
So what they did was they took out a couple of L2 caches and a transistor or something from the card, which basically slowed it down. So it's the same spec as a GTX 980, just a little
Okay.
slower.
Okay.
Just looks like because they took stuff out of it.
Yeah,
Got
they
it.
took stuff out of the chip so it runs slower.
But do they charge more?
No, it's a lot less. Bang
Oh.
for buck. They've sold the millions of them or something like that, like loads of these cards.
Okay.
Now the scandal is they actually lied on the marketing and on the box. It doesn't have this many ROPs and flops and stuff. I'm not
Right.
going to go too detailed because I'll lose everybody.
Again, hanging by a thread here.
It was discovered because rather than having a unified 4 GB of memory available, you
they
have
split
three-
it.
You have a 3.5 GB memory and then an emergency 500 megabytes of RAM. So the game uses the first 3.5 GB of RAM fine at a speed, but then once it tries to use any of the 500, the speed halves.
Interesting.
It basically goes to the lowest common denominator. That's the best way to describe it.
Right.
But also the fact that they lied about the ROPS on the box. They've since said that there was a miscommunication between marketing and the engineers.
And the
Apparently
ROPS and the
engineers
flops.
apparently they didn't explain it properly. But I don't get what you have to explain. You just write down how many ROPS and go, yeah, it is a post-it note. That's how many ROPS. Put it on the box.
Well, a decimal point could, be the cause.
Yeah, it's supposed to have had 64, but it's actually got 56, and that's why it sold so well because it's basically the same spec as a GTX 980. A lot of people are kicking off about it because of the lies, and also because it doesn't perform as they said it would, and people are trying to
The
get
lies. The lies.
There's
Oh,
some
lies.
serious lies, yeah.
A
Yeah,
big,
I mean-
large corporation lying about one of their products delivering. I just can't believe it in this
It
day.
never
and age.
happens. No. No,
The problem is, it's like a lot of people bought it for the reasons that were on the box, and the reasons
Yeah.
aren't
of
true.
course. I mean, that's
Oh yeah. No, I think they're well within their right to complain.
it's understandable, the outrage. What I don't quite understand, and this is, again, my own rudimentary understanding of the gigaflops and the RAMs and the things like that is,
Yeah.
if you're going to include 4 gigs of RAM into the card, why on earth would you segment off 500 gigabytes of it for emergency and not just for 500?
Is the emergency in case of a fire? Like, what's the emergency?
I know. So why not just?
I'll try to explain it in words.
Yeah, how else was you going to do it? In dance?
Yeah, I know. It's just,
Well, I watched a video where PC Per basically put diagrams together so you
Right.
could see all the transistors and stuff. So basically, imagine a chipboard,
right.
and then along the bottom is the RAM,
Okay.
a
Right.
chunk of RAM, 4 gigabytes.
Right.
And then above this, you have, I think it's 8 boxes,
Right.
and each of these has 2 transistors. Let's call them transistors in each one, and they link to components that link to like the L2 caches. So it's
Okay.
basically like caches, and then I can't remember the word of them, but they're basically connectors,
Bridges?
then the transistors, and then they link to the RAM.
Okay.
Because they took out caches and took out a transistor, they couldn't get the same amount of power unified all the way down to the card to the RAM. So they had to basically limit this like one side of the card to a slower speed.
So how does it get? Never mind.
So it's basically like you have 4 gigabytes.
So I'll just play my Xbox.
You have 4 gigabytes,
right,
but your computer only uses what it needs, but it takes what it needs out of the first 3.5.
Right, because I was going to say if it uses what it needs all 4 gigs.
If you need 4 gigs, it will try and use all 4 gigs,
Right,
but
apparently
your speed will have.
Right, it can't use all 4 gigs apparently.
Yeah, it
Not
can use
effectively.
it now. Nvidia have come out and said it's something like it's still 6 times faster than system RAM, but it's because the card, the speeds don't match. I should say the benchmarks are still correct for the benchmarks of the card. It still does like X frames per second on such and such a game. It's just when you try and push the card to its limits, like increase the res, maybe go up to 1440p or 4K, or increase the texture size. When the game tries to use more than 3.5, that's when you'll start to see it struggle. So,
Watching, why don't you go to the PC side?
I know. And did he just say texercise, by the way? I thought I heard texercise, which it sounds texercise. It sounds like some kind of jazzercise.
It sounds like a new menu on McDonald's menu or something.
It's like
Texercise. Time to fuck shit up, Texas style.
Basically, yeah. So in the real world, you won't need it, but when you start pushing the settings, that's when you'll see it. The problem that people have got is now it's not future-proof. They'll spend 360 quid on a card that in a year, a game will come out that will need 4 gigs of RAM on your card.
Well, for the record, any PC gamer is never future-proof.
But a 4 gig card would have been
easily. No, not
for
future-proof.
about 2 years.
Okay. For
Yeah.
2 years,
1080p.
for
Which is
2 years,
lifeline.
it's good for 2 years, but it's not future-proof. Nothing is future-proof in the technology industry. I want that is such a stupid thing that people have started to future-proof. Really, it can't be because we don't know what the future is.
People's perspective of the future's shortened.
Yes.
Future is console generation, or
if you're going to die tomorrow, then it's future-proof.
Yeah, basically. Right. So that's the scandal. Now I was going to out and buy one of these cards.
What's going to happen to me tomorrow, Greg?
Mike, I'm sorry. You're going to die.
What's funny is AMD have come out with a marketing campaign with a hashtag saying hashtag I want 4 gigabyte because their 4 gig card. It uses like amazing amounts of electricity or something. People say like it can run a small African village, the power that's needed to run this card. But it's got 4 gig and it's cheaper than the GTX 970 and it performs just as well, or whatever.
Yeah. You know what the technical term for that in the industry is? Boom.
Boom.
All right, let us move on. Is anything else from the news desk? Or
apparently somebody's left Sony. That's a thing. Step J in the chat.
Yes. The executive vice president of the board at Sony stepped down because of the whole hacking debacle. But I want to say it was Sony Pictures.
All right.
I forgot what her name was.
Was he Japanese?
No. It was a female.
Oh.
She was a co-chair VP Sony Pictures, and she stepped down.
She was just like, what was her fault? Like, maybe you should step down, Barbara.
Somebody needs to
take
step
the rep
down
for this. And I'm on too sweet a deal here.
I can understand like the CEO in Japan because it's like honor and respect and stuff, but not some random. I'm guessing Western woman.
Yes, she definitely did not look Asian.
I don't know. I feel like we probably just don't know enough about this story. Like it's probably she might have just left the door open and somebody sneaked in the building.
She had brown hair.
We know less than nothing about this to discuss it.
She's a woman in a successful job. We have to fire her. I don't know what went on. News, Rich, you was going to say something before I rudely interrupted you.
Just a quick thing in case anyone didn't see the email. Raptor had a security breach and all their email addresses and passwords were stolen.
Also, Blue Cross Blue Shield Healthcare in California. Similar issue.
Yeah, so if you're in with Blue Cross Blue Shield Healthcare or a gamer on Raptor, change your password today.
Yeah. Already changed mine.
I went to log in on Raptor before, and it said my password was incorrect. And I was like, so I quickly forgot my password and changed it. So we're safe. Me gamer score was not stolen. We are fine.
Yeah, I don't think they can steal your gamer score. Though.
God.
I don't know. The Raptor though, it's so weird now. Like, because it's combined stuff with like Play TV or something, and I think they're just trying to like jump on this old streaming nonsense, and it's just a weird. Gosh, the fun with Raptor was, oh my god, I spent 60 hours in that stupid game, right? And and like comparing that to your friends, but like,
I only spent 60. Greg did 120.
And
yeah,
I mean, like, the Xbox does that now anyway.
Right.
But it was sort of because I think more than ever, people are very varied in their gaming. You know, people jump in Steam and PS4 and Xbox and all this stuff. So it's cool to sort of track your whole gaming year. But Raptor's just a weird place now. That information isn't in the foreground. They really try and push this like streaming bollocks. I really don't like Raptor's model anymore. I think they've gone off the rails a bit.
Bastards.
All
right. Let us move on. Cheers, Rich. Thank you for that. New releases. We've got some new releases coming. Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers, Mike, as well.
Yeah,
Everybody's raising a glass and a toast. New games coming out for the week of the 6th to the 11th, as in today to next Thursday. Evolve comes out for Xbox One, PS4, and PC on February 10th. Super Stardust Ultra hits the PS4 February 10th.
Boom.
Unmechanical Extended hits PS4 and PS3 on February 10th.
Somebody told me about this unmechanical thing.
It's I believe it's a mobile game actually.
All right.
But it's made its way to the consoles because Unmechanical is on.
Sorry.
And let's see. Last but certainly not least. Well, actually, least. Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 2.
I'm sorry, Greg. You're going to have to explain that game for me.
It's a Vita game. That should actually be all the explanation you need. Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 2.
I love the name. If that was purposely bad, if they just went, should we just give this a shit name so people go, what the fuck is this? You know, then. Yeah.
If we make it a weird enough name, people will check it out.
Yeah.
And that's it for new releases. It's a short week. The big one, obviously, Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 2. I just like saying the name now. I think it's found a home with me.
That's gonna be my Raptor password.
I'm gonna name my son. I'm gonna name my son that. What do you think we should call him, Steve?
No.
I've been storing this one.
This is my son Rebirth 1. This is my son Rebirth 2. There's an afterbirth joke to be made, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go there. There
wasn't, Greg. You just said the words, and now it's just there.
Yeah, I know. Hey, Playdates.
Step J. Step J is just nothing but chat tonight. It's ace.
Step J. Stepping up.
Stepping up.
See how I did that? Yeah.
The last thing you said, what's the Playdates, Greg?
Playdates. We've got the Track Mini League happening every Thursday right now, 9 p.m. BST. It is basically racing fun. You got to go over to the track site. I believe they've got a spot in the forums at G4T as well. But all those fails, I think if you get in touch with Parsnip or the Henwood, either one of them can point you in the right direction for the racing goodness. Apparently, there's some stuff happening in Drive Club. And G4T.
That's good now, isn't it? Drive Club, isn't it?
It's gotten good, yeah.
Everybody goes, the rain.
Yeah.
Play it for the rain. I was like, is it fun? The rain. That's all people talk about. Oh, it looks so real.
It does have amazing graphics.
Stu.
But let's talk about what's not amazing.
Mr. Stuart Fowler. Yeah, I know you are listening, Stuart Fowler.
Stu.
That's what you sound like. Graphics.
You know what's not amazing? Lag and Boss Wave. Those clowns can't drive to save their lives. Apparently, the G4TE team kicking their ass. At least that's what I've been told. It can be completely lies, by the way. Clan Wars, the Canadian thing, they had a Super Bowl commercial. Apparently, Clan Wars is pretty still popular.
So the Super Bowl, Greg.
Yes.
As a British man, I know it went on.
Right.
I know it's always like the end of January-ish.
Right.
Was that a thing for you? Did you celebrate the Super Bowl? Did you?
I
don't
did.
know what you do.
I did. I watched the Super Bowl. It actually was one of the better Super Bowls I've seen in quite some time.
I heard that. Wasn't it a bit of a controversial decision?
Dramatic finish. Controversial.
Am I right? Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots.
Yes, sir. You are
Look at that.
well versed in your
Cultured.
American
Cultured.
football. Yes.
Cultured website.
See what I'm doing there, by the way? How considered American football? See?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Thanks
Trying
for
to
that.
start making that distinction. But yeah, no, it was quite a good game. And in fact, the halftime show, I have to say, I'm not the biggest Katy Perry fan, but holy smokes, she put on a good show as far as I was concerned.
Those sharks have been all over Reddit. I have to say.
I know, the Sharks are awesome.
So I want to get one of those costumes, and I'm going to walk around in it until one person goes, huh. You know, and then that'll be worth it.
Right, right. But yeah,
I did that. I don't fancy dress stuff. I hate that sort of stuff. But my mate, I've talked about him a lot on this episode. Marsh, he likes to dress up and stuff, especially around Christmas. So I did this full-on Assassin's Creed Altair costume. Right. Nobody knew what it was. No one, right?
Nobody, not a clue.
Nobody. But this one guy went, "Oh yeah, from the game." I was like, "Yes,
Just
you are the
validation.
reason I wore this."
Validation. All right. If you would like, you can get this game called the Golf Club, and you can participate in an inter-community challenge. Right now, we are playing a course called Winter Flathead Country Golf Club.
It's
course.
the one. Did Felice pick this one or something? And
Yes,
it's a bastard.
It's a bastard. Lots of wind. It's snowing. For the record, you don't play golf in the snow. I have tried. I made it about to the 9th hole, and we had to quit. It was flipping cold. It wasn't snowing when we started to play golf. I was up there for a bachelor party. Side note, here's a little story for you. I convinced my buddy to do his bachelor party up in Reno in May. And he was like, is the weather still going to be kind of bad up there? I'm like, no, but around May it starts to clear up. It should be nice. And we get up there, and lo and behold, it's actually pretty nice. But there are weather reports saying there's possible snow flurries in the upper elevations. So we're like, whatever. You know, we're drinking. We get to the golf course to play a round of golf that day. And we get out to the driving range to take some practice swings. And the wind just has completely kicked up. Snow is starting to flurry down. The wind is so strong now that we're hitting balls up and like with 9-iron shots, you know, they're about 100 yards out. Those shots are being held up in the wind and only going about 30 yards. I mean, the wind is just brutal.
I thought you were going to say the other thing. I thought you were going to say the other thing is like they fly off. They go,
No.
"Goodbye, my people need me."
So we get out, we start playing, and it starts snowing, just dumping snow on us, and all the alcohol in the world could not save us from just starting to just freeze to death. And we got to about the 9th hole and just had to call it quits. Drove the golf carts back to the clubhouse, and then I got to listen to my buddy just give me shit for a good, I don't know,
Hey, Greg,
2-3 years after that.
When you said we should go on a golf course on my bachelor party,
Yeah,
I hate you.
pretty much.
Oh, we did the opposite. We went on. We did a 18 hole golf round, and it was the hottest day ever. Right, and we got to about like the 12th hole, and we was like, we are going to die. Like we are just. This ain't happening. Like we were dying. It was bad. It was bad stuff.
Yeah. Well,
So how do I get on the golf club thing,
So,
Greg?
important things.
I'm on the
One,
forums now. I'm there. I'm on the thing. I can see the chats and the thing. And what do I do?
Let me tell you. First of all,
Right.
if you are on the PC, you need to make sure you have the real Defoe as your friend.
Right.
If you are on the PS4, you need to make sure you have Marcanix as your friend. And like you do, Mike, you have to
Yes.
have Murphy's Law as your friend on the Xbox One. And when you
I've
go
got bad
into...
news for you there. I did delete you.
Add me back in for at least this.
But
When
yeah,
you go
okay.
in, the easiest way to find the tournament is once you've friended me, you go into play around, and then you go play tournament, and then cycle through to games your friends have played. And you'll see in there tournament for OC Podcast Next Gen or X Gen 2
Okay.
tournament, and that's the one you want to select. And you can replay it as many times as you want.
Yeah, and your best score will be
Your
logged
best
as
score, yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. I see.
Yes.
So it operates on a sort of leaderboard, I'm guessing. So
yes, there's a leaderboard.
You check the leaderboard and Chin's arrived and he's
right.
terrible.
Yes. Don't be shocked if you are sporting like a plus 20 at the end of your first time.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. So a suggestion for me, Greg, do you recommend that I just go for it, or shall I just have some practice rounds, or play some other holes, get used to it?
I would say this: go for it, because you can replay it as many times as you want. This challenge ends the 13th of February, so it's not going to hurt you if your first round is horrible. You can come back and play it again. I've already played it like 6 or 7 times, trying to get down into the sub